A review on the Koulouris Beach Hotel in Kavos, Corfu. It's not been great. We had some really bad experiences here on day number 2 with the attitude of the staff, which I'll explain in a moment. But just to show you the room first, it's very basic. Like, I've been to Corfu a few times before this, and you'll get a room with like a small cooking hob. You'll get like a small kitchen sink. You'll get a fridge freezer, whereas here's just only a fridge. The freezer really helps because you're travelling a lot around in Corfu at times on a quad bike or a motorbike or by foot. They've got electric scooters now and stuff like that. So the freezer comes in really handy because you're able to freeze some drinks, some bottled drinks or something like that, or some food. You could buy some frozen sausages or something that you're able to grill on the hob. And yeah, so you just don't get the cooking accessories here, or the washing, or the cutlery and stuff like that. So, and it seems to me that the reason that they are doing that is to kind of just make you more dependent on buying food at their pool area. That would seem like it's the main reason, in my opinion. The storage for your clothes is like not great. You're mostly kind of living out of a suitcase because all you get is a couple of these little drawers. They don't really hold much. You can get a few t-shirts in there. You get a row and they literally give you like 3 or 4 coat hangers. That's probably why you can see I've got quite a few bits kind of just slung over, because there's nowhere to like hang them up or nothing like that. So what it does is it just makes it very difficult for you to store any of your clothes anywhere. Yeah, the room's really basic. One more thing I would say is that I've read the reviews and they explain that when you use this air conditioning that you get a €10 charge a day. Now, it's just, again, like, they won't explain that to you when you come here. It would be so easy for them to say when you check in, oh, you know, there's a €10 charge if you use the aircon, and kind of just give you a little bit of like an explanation of what is set out. But it seems like they try their best to kind of just keep it like as not known, and then they sting people with charges at the end. Now, I'm not saying I completely object to the charges. It's just if they give a little bit more clarity, it would be a lot better. They're very strict here. I mean, these rules, if you look on, they print these rules on the back of the door, and you can kind of get an idea of kind of where you're staying with something like this. If you look at the second bullet point down, it is against the law to take any other guest or visitors back to your accommodation for an overnight stay. If you do, you will be asked to pay a fine of €200 for this guest, or asked to leave the property. So obviously it's Kavos. You can imagine there's a lot of young lads like booking here and you know, trying to meet some young ladies of an evening and vice versa. And then you turn up to your hotel and it looks like that. So that's not going to be good for you, is it? If you're, you know, a group of 2 lads, or 3 lads, 4 lads, it's just, you're not going to want to see that, are you? And then, I mean, all of these rules is just basically like what you're not allowed to do and how much you're going to get fined for it, basically, or you don't get your deposit. So yeah, like, it's forbidden for noisy music. It doesn't even say at any time. You're not allowed to play music or songs that cause any inconvenience. So I mean, if I had a speaker with me right now, I'd want to play a little bit of music. I was thinking of buying one at the airport, to be honest with you. And yeah, please do not move items of your accommodation outside the room. You know, like we had a towel, or otherwise you'll be asked to pay a fine of €50. So we've dried a couple of their towels out the front there. So, you know, am I going to get stung with €50 fines? Like, I genuinely, I don't know. The front here, as you can see, it's very like basic. front of the room was like very basic. And yeah, as I say, the staff here, they've got an attitude issue, and it's a real problem. So on day 2 of my stay here, I'm sat by the pool, and let me just take it back just a little bit of a second. So we rented this small quad bike here. Just for context, I'm on holiday with my 7-year-old son, just me and him, 2 weeks. We've been here before. We like to rent a quad and, you know, drive to the beach and the restaurants in the evenings and the little pool clubs and stuff like that, the pool table clubs and stuff like that, bowling. So on day 2, day 1, I can't really remember what happened. Day 2, we pulled this up like up near the beach, kind of side of the swimming pool here. And what happens is I have a gentleman, he comes marching over to me, really kind of like swinging his arms and all this stuff. I could see him coming, to be fair. And I already knew what he was going to say before he got there, because of his body attitude was like so obvious, like his demeanour from his body language. And so anyway, he comes over very aggressively and says like, you can't park your quad back there, like you know, like says it in kind of that manner, you know. And yeah, I'm on holiday, so I just say to him, oh, okay, sorry, something like that. I said, okay. I believe I just said, okay. Then I, you know, started turning the quad bike back on. My son was sat on the back. I said, I'm just going to move the quad back. He said, yeah, I'm just going to get off here. I said, okay. So he's getting off the quad. Now, whilst all this is happening, the fella's standing next to the gate, staring at me, waiting for me to start moving the bike. So I'm turning the key on, I'm starting the bike up. He's still standing there. He waits until I put it in reverse and start backing it up. So at first I just think like, yeah, like whatever, you know, like it's not really a biggie. It's kind of like a really small thing, you know, like it's not really a big thing. I thought he's probably just kind of like got his defences up a little bit. Maybe he's had some complaints in the past, or, you know, something like that. So anyway, it's a few hours, it's about 4 or 5 hours later now. And I see a small child in the pool. I see a small 5-year-old get into the pool, in the deep end. He lets go of the side of the rail, and his head's completely under the water. He can't get himself back up. I reacted pretty quickly. He was on the complete other end of the pool. I reacted pretty quick, and I run around the pool and pull him out of the water, and he's coughing a little bit. So anyway, Dad comes over to me, eventually buys me a beer, and he kind of explains his situation. I don't want to go into kind of their situation and stuff like that, only my own. So, you know, so then what they start to do is they start saying, you know, we're going to change the rules of the pool or stuff like that. They're saying no children in the pool, in the adult pool, basically, right? Which I'm not arguing against, right? Then, so I'm kind of like, I'm not being explained the rules to myself. Like, no one's kind of like explained the rules. I kind of just thought to myself, well, if I'm in the pool with him, then it's going to be okay. So I'm in the water with him, and it's okay, because obviously I'm swimming with him in the big pool. And then I'm in the pool for about 2 or 3 hours. I literally climb out of the pool onto a sunbed, and I'm sitting on a sunbed in an upright position, and my son is in the pool, kind of where that wall is right in front of me there, in a rubber ring. So a lady comes over to me and says, excuse me, like, you can't have your son in that pool, please can you get him out? So I just turned around and said, I'm sitting here watching him, he's right in front of me, he's in a rubber ring, I'm sitting up, I'm watching him, is that okay? Like, is it all right? So she quickly runs back to get like another manager. He walks out, and says to me, "You cannot have your son there in the pool," kind of speaks to me like that, right? So like, again, I just kind of reiterated it to him. I said I was nice and calm. I just said, you know, like, I was just trying to explain to the lady there, if it's all right, you know, if I'm just watching him whilst he's, you know, right in front of me and I'm supervising him and stuff like that. If you don't want to follow the rules, we will kick you out of the hotel, kind of is the response. So now I'm just like kicked back a little bit. So, and then after he says that, he kind of just like walks back to the kitchen area. So I'm kind of sitting there, I have the ump a little bit, you know, I'm calm. So I walk over to the kitchen area to kind of speak to him. And I was still calm, and he's like throwing his fist, like speaking loud in Greek, like kind of like with another Greek lady or something like that, right? Then, so I speak to him and I just say, "Hi, buddy. Look, like I'm on holiday. Like, why exactly are you kind of like speaking to me like this?" Then he kind of said, "If you don't want to follow the regulations, like you could get out of the pool again." Like he shouts at me, right? So I said to him, "Buddy," I said, "I'm speaking to you like very calm. I'm on holiday. Like, why are you speaking to me like this? I'm just trying to have an holiday with my son. I'm just asking you like a question." So again, he shouts at me again and stuff like that. And now I just kind of got the ump. So I said to him, "Look, bud, if you shout at me again and raise your voice, then I'm going to start speaking to you back like in the same way." And bear in mind, there's probably a couple dozen people around the pool by this point as well. So yeah, what do you think he does? He raises his voice at me again. So now at this point, I'm getting the ump. I start to raise my voice back at him. We get into a bit of an argument. Another manager comes over. I explain it to him. And when this gentleman can see me explaining it to the other manager, he apologised. So he realised he was in the wrong. He said that he's sorry, that he's had a lot of stress today with the kind of the other incident with the child, to which I kind of stated, yeah, I was kind of the one who pulled him out. And they kind of said thank you a little bit. But then I said to him, "I accept your apology." I said, "But there was kind of a lot of attitude here before even that incident with that child. It was kind of like a bit apparent with the way that you kind of approached me and spoke to me regarding like the quad bike," and to which he had no response. So yeah, so for this 2-week holiday, we've just kind of been like staying away from this pool. We're really lucky that we know a few people here and we know how it operates. Like you can kind of go to any pool in any hotel, you buy a beer or a drink there and you can swim in their water and everything like that. And we have a little rental quad bike. So yeah, it's I would just avoid this if I was you. If you look at the other Google reviews, they will also speak regarding the attitude issues here. And I can tell you that it's 100% true. Apparently they have some good Google reviews. I saw in one of the reviews because they're offering people a drink for free when you're about to leave if you leave a good review. So yeah, so quite clearly they know that that they've had a few bad reviews and they're trying to compensate for them. So yeah, if I was you, I would just avoid. I could really recommend Captain Studios, one that I know myself. They've had a lot of brand new bathrooms fitted in them. The owners are lovely. They treat you like family. Their swimming pool is beautiful. It's just as far to walk to the strip as it is from here. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. I'm sure there's plenty other really nice places here. In general, the people here are just so kind and so nice, and they speak to you so politely. They treat you with respect all the time. And yeah, just really like just the nicest people you could meet. But of course, like anything in life, there's always one rotten apple in a bunch. So yeah, that's my advice. That's my review of the hotel. We've just been using it just to kind of sleep here and just go get changed and go and enjoy our holidays. So yeah, thank you. Cheers.